Former Senate President Ame Ebute in this interview talks about the All Progressive Congress APC zoning its 2023 presidential ticket to the South-South and why Southeast and Southwest may not produce a president even when zoned to the South. He was asked, Emir Sanusi recently said that Nigeria is living on extra time. Do you agree with that? He responded, that is his personal opinion, but you don't mind such talks. Unless God decides to end Nigeria, we'll continue to be part of the world. I don't think God will take us out of the world. Maybe they are talking of disunity or something like that. This Nigeria will continue to survive despite our shortcomings. Nigeria will not collapse, but we are currently having challenges which I know we'll overcome. Political parties are having internal wrangling among themselves. Some people are not sure of what is happening. Some say Buhari is not ready to go, and one is not sure what to believe. He responded, don't mind what people are saying or thinking. From the Biafran war, they have continued to talk about disunity, but we've been able to survive up till today. So disunity in a country as Nigeria will continue to rear its ugly head. I don't think it's a serious issue now. The serious issue is to see how we can get the next president. The political parties can nip in the bud the crisis that we have so that we can have a peaceful transition of government next year. And we should also pray that God should be able to give us the president that will take us forward. I don't want to be pessimistic about the existence of Nigeria. I want to be optimistic. But the way the politicians carry themselves and the things they do, it is because of the special nature of politicians who only bother about themselves and not for the masses. That is why you have extreme greed. And extreme greed brings individualism and lack of care for the masses. So, you see the winners taking it all and the ministers and government appointees patronizing only their families. That is why you see extreme struggle to get into position. That shouldn't be the way things are done. APC said the mood of the nation would determine its presidential candidates and have not been able to zone the position. He responded, it's the same thing with the PDP. You see, the political parties are watching one another, but I'll tell you from the inner circle that the presidency will be zoned to the South in APC. But which South? I don't know. If you ask me which part of South, I cannot say exactly where, but I know that since democracy returned, the Western zone has had it. The Southwest has had it through Obasanjo, who was in office for 8 years. And after him, there was Osibanjo, who is the vice president. I think that should be enough. So when you talk of the South, you are talking about Southeast or South-South. But I think the plan is to have the South-South that has been there for 6 years come back to complete that tenure so that the presidency will come back to the North. That is why the APC is planning to zone the presidency to the South-South. So the Southeast is not in the reckoning at all, he responded. The Southeast, the activities of the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, is another matter to think about. I don't know why the majority of the leaders of the Southeast cannot call the IPOB to order. The fear of other parts of the country is that if you have someone from the East as president and he's overwhelmed, he's likely to support the secessionist movement. So you don't have confidence in an Igbo man as president now. Maybe in the next dispensation. The problem is that the activities of the IPOB have held the entire Southeast to ransom. They don't allow anything to work in the Southeast. At the time Obasanjo became president, there was agitation for Oduduwa Republic. They went to Ibadan and declared the Oduduwa Republic and sang their anthem. And when Buhari assumed office, Boko Haram was wreaking damage in the north. It didn't stop him. And when Jonathan emerged, there was this Niger Delta militancy. Why is it that when it comes to the Southeast, they are saying IPOB? The modus operandi of the IPOB members is completely different. There is sit-at-home order on Mondays, the no activity order and the confrontation with the armed forces. It is the same with Boko Haram and other insurgents, but when we discussed among ourselves, the fear of them is the problem. Buhari was once appointed by Boko Haram as a negotiator and nobody used it against him. I'm not aware of it. When? Before he became president? I'm not aware that he was appointed as a negotiator between Boko Haram and the nation. The IPOB is different because I've always spoken to my Igbo friends and I ask, why do you allow these boys to continue? The issue of Oduduwa has died down. Boko Haram, though, an armed conflict to be defeated eventually, just like any other insurrection. The IPOB are very adamant. It depends on the country. Now the presidency is open to all, but you see the number of Igbo that have shown interest. You have Okorocha. Tell me how he can become president. There is Orji Uzor that has just been freed by the Supreme Court on technical grounds. You have Umahi, the present governor of Ebonyi State. That one, I don't know about his record. But look at Okorocha and Uzor. Yes, there are others. Pius Ayim has a problem too. We want clean people. But Tinubu and APC had an agreement in 2015. Why is APC not keeping the agreement? Yes, not all members of APC are aware of it. That agreement is not good. It's not a good one. If people from the Southwest and the Northwest come into agreement, nobody from other parts will be president again. I don't think such an agreement will be in the interest of the country. That should lead to another political confrontation. So, if there is such agreement, not everyone is aware. And if there is such, it cannot hold, as two parts of the geopolitical regions cannot hold the country to perpetual ransom. Who then is APC rooting for? They want Jonathan to come and complete his 4 years and then allow the presidency to come back to the north. That is the secret agenda people have. The way he handed peacefully to Buhari. He has become the doyen in Africa. He didn't want to struggle and his tenure was peaceful. Whose tenure was peaceful? Well, I'm aware Boko Haram was still there, but this kidnapping and banditry and others were not as pronounced then. That is why his tenure is being described as peaceful. I think it was relatively peaceful. Does that mean he's actually being considered? Well, they are pleading with him to consider coming back and completing his tenure. Jonathan may not accept. See the debt profile. It is running into trillions. Obasanjo cleared the debt. Now it is running to what we don't know. You mean the external debt of the present administration is running into trillions? I agree with you, and the people are complaining. Everyone has its own modalities. I'm not in support that our external debt should run into trillions, as anyone that will inherit it will suffer. And to make matters worse, the government is still borrowing. If Jonathan accepts, he will bear the brunt of all this. God will decide. Anybody coming into office will suffer and leave again to the other person coming in. And maybe the person coming in will have some magic wand pleading with the creditors to make some forgiveness of the loans. Obasanjo did it. That is why he has a clean slate.